All right, so here's one for you, Jimmy. The 76ers have got the valiant return of the Troll L Embiid, as he calls himself. Joel Embiid has made his valiant return for the 76ers in a victory on, what was that, Saturday. They beat the Timberwolves 122-113. Embiid's return, he played in only 29 minutes, but he did score 24 points with 8 boards. Adding to his totals, he missed 4 threes, which is hurting his 50-40-90 season. He's pissing me off with that. I need you to stop being disrespectful to what I'm excited about, which I'm actually going to really dig into that this season and see what the 50-40s look like, because he's still on pace for it. He's having a really good year. 52% from the field, 40% from 3, 85% from the free throw line. You can't get over that. While averaging a 29 and 11. That's stupid. That is just stupid. But then, of course, they lost the next game, which made them tied for the number 1 seed in the East. So, Jimmy, I want to ask you this question. With Embiid back and being healthy, is Philadelphia the best team in the East?
No.
Okay.
Because part of what you're asking essentially is, are they able to beat the Brooklyn Nets? Are they a better team? And they're not, because the last time I checked, Joel Embiid is still injury prone, and Ben Simmons still won't shoot the ball. So if you're going to take that into the playoffs or match that up against what Brooklyn has, there is no chance that they're going to be able to beat this team. So therefore, there is no chance that they're the best team in the East. I don't care that they have Doc Rivers. I have my own personal thoughts about Doc Rivers. I do think he is a good coach, but a coach that will put this team ahead of this Brooklyn team once they got James Harden, absolutely not. So there is no chance that they're the best team in the East at all. I don't care what their record says.
Wow.
No chance.
I'm sold on Philadelphia right now.
Okay.
I think that they are better than Brooklyn, even with Brooklyn being stacked right now. I mean, whenever they got James Harden on the 6th, they played, and, well, the team was shorthanded as usual, but James Harden cooked as he normally does. Philadelphia won. And I can totally see Philadelphia getting past Brooklyn.
But how? What would they have to do in order to get past Brooklyn?
Well, okay. So you mentioned this, and you're right. Embiid has injury history. He has the same history as a lot of the other teams, but there's also something that Joel Embiid has that the others don't.
Okay.
His history does not go into the playoffs.
Okay.
He's actually played the playoffs, and I think that that's the biggest difference maker when it comes to Brooklyn and Philadelphia. I don't know who's going to play for Brooklyn in the playoffs. I'm going to keep saying it over and over until we get to the playoffs and I actually get definitive data. I don't know who's going to play. No one can tell me who's going to be healthy for that. Like I said, Kyrie Irving has missed 3 of the last 5. Harden's made it through. Blake Griffin.
Harden missed like 3 in a row because of a hamstring injury. He's supposed to be available
recently. Yeah, I think he's available tonight against the Knicks.
Which those hamstring injuries can be.
Exactly. That soft tissue issue, man. Soft tissue injury usually leads to more of them. And we don't know what the hell's going on with Kevin Durant.
Nash says it's probable he will be back this week, but you don't know.
Right. He's been gone since before the All-Star break?
Yes.
We're
approaching 2 months.
Yeah.
And that was also a hamstring.
So February and March. We're approaching 3 months that we're going into the 3rd month that he has not played. So until you can show me that they're going to be healthy long term, I can't be sold on Brooklyn beating Philadelphia.
So based on the health factor, you would put Philadelphia right now ahead of Brooklyn.
Yeah, because I put it like this. They're not going to see each other until the Eastern Conference Finals anyway.
True.
So if they're not going to see each other until the Eastern Conference Finals, what am I supposed to think? Like, how am I supposed to be sold on? Because the way it looks, Brooklyn at 2 will play probably the Knicks or Boston, depending on who's in there. And I think that it's probably going to be in Boston. I think Boston will beat the Knicks for the play-in game, and they'll automatically move up a spot if they don't move up before then. And then Philadelphia will play either the Knicks, the Pacers, or the Bulls. Philly will get through their first round. Brooklyn should get through theirs. Second round is where the problems come in. Milwaukee's going to face one of those two in the second round. And I don't see Brooklyn beating Milwaukee in the second round.
So you have them going down in the second round to Milwaukee.
I told you they weren't going to make it past second round, didn't I?
You did. And we made a bet, and I'm going to win this bet because they're going to get past them. However, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go to the championship because with Brooklyn, and honestly, I would say this is Philadelphia as well, and part of this is your fault. I'm told that there's only one team.
My fault?
Yes. Well, why?
What?
There's only one team who can beat Brooklyn, and there's one team that can beat Philadelphia. Your Miami Heat. With Victor Oladipo. Because you get everything with this team. You get a team that can shoot threes. You get a team that can play fast-paced. You get a team that can score off the ISO with Oladipo and with Jimmy Butler. And Bam Adebayo, whatever it is he chooses to do, he's a really good player. And you have a grinding defensive team that believes in themselves because they pushed the Lakers last season to a Game 6 under really strange circumstances in the bubble.
Exhausting circumstances.
So this is the only team that can beat either of these two teams.
I can see that.
Milwaukee can't do it. It's kind of the same thing. It's like the same remedy for them as it is with Philadelphia. With Philadelphia, you know Embiid's going to get his, but close off the paint. Don't let anybody else get theirs. With Milwaukee, the exact same thing. Giannis is not going to get his in the paint because the paint is closed in the playoffs to him. We've seen this the last 2 seasons. Outside of that, Chris Middleton, he's not going to kill you. He's not going to beat you in a 7-game series. Neither is Jrue Holiday. So the game plan to defend both of those teams is too easy. That sort of game plan is not going to work against Brooklyn, or it's not going to work against Miami because they also have 3-point shooters in Hero and Robinson. Something else I forgot to mention. So this is what it's going to come down to: Miami and Brooklyn. That's it. Everybody else, start planning your vacations.
I mean, yeah. So who they lose to the conference finals to in 2018? Milwaukee.
2018.
Boston. No.
Cavs.
Raptors. Toronto.
It's the
Toronto.
Raptors. Okay.
They lost to Kawhi Leonard.
Mm-hmm.
This is the problem with Milwaukee. Well, this is the problem I feel like with Brooklyn beating Milwaukee. Who's going to stop Giannis?
Brooklyn beating Milwaukee? I mean, it takes a team effort. You just have to construct a defensive game plan to shut off the paint. Turn him into a jump shooter or a 3-point shooter. You do that, you win in 5.
I don't know if I can agree with that.
So either way, so let's say that is Brooklyn's game plan, is to shut off the paint. You still feel like Milwaukee is good enough to still beat them despite that game plan to disrupt their best stars' offensive repertoire.
Yes. I think it's enough. This is how Toronto beat Milwaukee.
Boxing won him to death.
Well, no, I mean they mixed between Pascal Siakam and Kawhi Leonard defending Giannis, and Kawhi can defend Giannis. I think he's strong enough. He may not be strong as Giannis, but he's strong enough to keep up with him, and he's definitely fast enough. Kawhi's a masterful defender, and I think Pascal Siakam taking some of the offensive load off of his back really helped with Kyle Lowry being a veteran point guard, and then having Serge to be able to throw in there every once in a while. That was your difference maker in that series. And then the series after that, or the next season, Miami, I mentioned it last year, that there's very few players in the league that can handle Giannis easily with power and speed. And Bam Adebayo is one of those. Bam Adebayo can put the body on Giannis and not get completely knocked over.
Correct.
I mean, as thin as Pascal Siakam is, it seems like he actually was able to do a little something, but he had Kawhi Leonard to be able to help with that. So as much as I want to say that that Brooklyn has someone, I don't know who that is. I don't think Blake Griffin can hold up against Giannis. I don't think LaMarcus Aldridge can either. So
maybe Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant cannot hold up against Giannis. The difference is Kevin Durant can score with him.
He's got to slow him down.
Kevin Durant can score with him. I don't think Kevin Durant's strong enough to stop Giannis.
No.
That's my point.
But he is long enough. He's one of the few who's long enough to be able to disrupt him. All he's got to do is keep himself from getting dunked on. If he can do that, he's going to alter his shot so many times because of how long he is.
You seen how big Kevin Durant is?
He's been hearing that his whole career. And somehow in Golden State, he learned how to become a better defender.
No, he's a good defender when people aren't bodying him. I think he's a good defender. I've always said that Kevin Durant's an underrated defender. But I don't think that he's strong enough to keep Giannis from going past him into the paint.
Well, he can't do it all on his own.
No. Yeah, it's going to take a team effort.
Yeah. So
but that's where your pieces come in with Chris Middleton, with now Jrue Holiday.
Let him shoot.
And then Dante DiVincenzo.
Let him shoot.
The Michael Jordan of Delaware.
Right.
Don't sleep on that, man.
Let them all
I feel
shoot.
like you're just sleeping on that portion of it, of that piece that they have, that variable.
And I'm not saying those are bad pieces. Those are really good pieces. I really like those pieces collectively, but it's all about Giannis. Let them shoot, but as long as you slow Giannis down, especially if you're Brooklyn, with your ability to score points, assuming you're going to have all your guys in that moment, you're going to be just fine. But you're predicting that Milwaukee's going to beat them in the second round.
I say it's going to either be Milwaukee.
I'm hoping.
It's either Milwaukee or Miami.
I would rather them, because I want Miami and Brooklyn in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I would rather, yes, Miami take on Philadelphia in the second round and Milwaukee take on Brooklyn in the second round. That way I get exactly what I want.
I want Miami versus Brooklyn in the second round.
I don't want that.
I want all of that.
Because I want my bet.
You want to win your bet.
And if that happens, I'm going to lose my bet.
Because
I think Miami can beat them.
Okay. That's a good point.